Something tells me DreamWorks is on the weird 80s nostalgia trip. Welcome to The Critique, where we watch some animated goodies and determine whether we should tune in or tune out. I'm Song, your resident cartoon connoisseur, and this is She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. She-Ra is a 2018 remake of the 1985 cartoon She-Ra Princess of Power, produced by DreamWorks as a Netflix original that premiered on November 13th, 2018, which was earlier than I was ready for. What the heck, Netflix? I was at work. In any case, it was received pretty well overall for its diverse cast and positive message. But what did I think about it? Stay tuned to find out. Or don't. Skip to the end. I don't care.
We're on the edge of greatness.
It's a song. There's a full sequence, so that's a plus, but the track is just generic girl power pop song. Very generic girl power pop song. Annoyingly generic even. I ended up skipping it most of the time, which to me is always unfortunate. Of course, on that front, it really just comes down to musical preferences. That said, visually the opening feels safe. The entire thing is uniquely animated as opposed to a sizzle reel of clips taken from the show itself, which, as usual, is a massive boost in quality for me. But for whatever reason, it leaves something to be desired. You get a shot of Adora gazing out at the world, followed by a plethora of princesses showing off their powers to the camera, leading up to a clash between She-Ra and company and the Horde, and it's fitting, for sure. But I think my problem is that I see all this movement, but it doesn't feel dynamic. It feels safe. The plot of She-Ra is as follows. A teenager named Adora is swiftly flying up the ranks of the Horde army until she and her best friend Catra go on a joyride through a magical forest where she discovers a magic sword and two new besties along with her true place in the world as She-Ra, Princess of Power. Together with Glimmer and Bow, Adora rounds up many more princesses to form Glimmer's Princess Alliance against a jealous Catra and the evil Horde. In this first season, the story is less about the battle with Hordak's army and more about building the alliance and forming bonds with the rest of the princesses. Not to mention, there is a focus on world building since Adora needs to know about everything she got herself into. I think that it's a great way to educate the audience on these things as well. While the overall plot reflects the original 80s program, the writers give their own spin on the story to refine it and modernize it for optimal relatability. Which of course included removing any ties to He-Man, at least for now. The main cast includes Adora, an ambitious and serious young soldier formerly of the Horde, and her alter ego, the titular She-Ra, Princess of Power. We also have Glimmer, determined and rebellious princess of the Bright Moon Kingdom and leader of the Princess Alliance, and Bow, Glimmer's sweet childhood friend with resourceful thinking and great aim. The thing I love most about the relationship between these three is that their bond comes from Glimmer and Adora simply trying to get to know and understand each other and where they come from, with Bow's bright positivity acting as the glue that holds the trio together. Though the friendship seems a bit rushed, it still feels genuine. Together, these three travel to assemble the Princess Alliance, bringing together a diverse cast of support characters such as Entrapta, a fearless princess who goes to any length for science, Seahawk, a sailor who is extremely annoying in the most endearing way, and Princess Mermista, who is just a constant mood.
Hey, I'm here too, don't make a big thing out of it.
I found it interesting that with each member of the Alliance added, I could feel the squad grow, so to speak, in terms of both number and bond. Once you meet a new character, they consistently show back up to lend a hand or sometimes simply to hang out, and it makes everything feel organic, even if these characters are not there all the time. It's realistic in that way. Of course, you also have the antagonists in the Horde army, the most prominent of which being Scorpia, a loving and simple-minded captain always ready with a show of brute strength, and Catra, Adora's former sister-like bestie trying to prove herself and leave her ex-friend's shadow. Because Adora used to be a Horde soldier herself, this show takes time to display the perspective of the characters still living in the Fright Zone and allows the audience to get to know them as well. This is great because it means the plot goes deeper than just good versus evil. Sure, these antagonist characters are still doing evil things, but they are presented as more complex beings with plausible and even somewhat relatable outlooks on life, as opposed to just being sociopaths. Catra alone struggles with the betrayal of Adora's defection, while she simultaneously deals with the envy she had always felt toward her former friend, who had always been the favorite of their supervisor, Shadow Weaver. This sort of thing is what sells me on the show, and I look forward to seeing where all of these different relationships between all of these different characters go. She-Ra and the Princesses of Power is a 2D traditionally animated program. The art is colorful and vibrant, and every shot looks like it was painted by a rainbow without clashing colors too hard. I believe that this gives it a tie to its predecessor, as that show was extremely colorful as well, but now it's in glorious HD. The many different kingdoms stand out from each other, yet despite this and the aforementioned vibrant color palette, each landscape feels unified within the world of Eternia. Also, I have to note that throughout the world there are ruins and artifacts from the era of the first ones, an ancient civilization integral to the overall story. And written all over these ruins and artifacts is a language, alphabet, and writing system that the She-Ra crew created themselves. I absolutely love when shows and games take the time and use the effort to go into this level of detail, because it actually fleshes out the world design and shows how much the creators care about their product. Of course, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows from my perspective, even if the art may suggest it. I mentioned it before, but the animation feels pretty stiff and very safe. Not too many risks were taken with the movement, and while this is by no means a deal breaker, nor does it make the animation bad, it's noticeable and it's disappointing simply because of its clear potential. It's easiest to see during any scene that's supposed to have action. Whenever She-Ra is active, she tends to just sort of stand there, sometimes leaping around, but that's about it. It's not dynamic or engaging, and it is something that I look forward to seeing improvements on. Otherwise, the character designs are great and distinct, and their voice actors do a fantastic job bringing them to life. Some standouts for me were AJ Michalka and her emotional and mischievous performances as Catra, and Vela Lovell as Mermista, who again was a constant mood.
I'm a little understaffed right now. Everybody fled because the gate is falling apart or whatever.
The writers give these characters dialogue that is funny, heartwarming, and relatable. Even when I found the show annoying and dare I say cringy, it was still highly entertaining and I never cared. I was just having fun. Overall, the 2018 version of She-Ra is a colorful and magical journey with real character relations and interactions, though it has improvements to make in its animation. For these reasons, I recommend tuning into She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. But hey, that's just me. What do you think about the show? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed. If you would like to continue the conversation, my Discord is open and my Twitter is active. Links will be in the description below. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to have a fantastic day, and I hope you do too. Thanks for watching.